Hello everyone, it's Halloween Heartthrob, and today we have a very special video to me personally because I was not able to do Shrinky Dinks, or at least I don't remember doing them. I'm gonna do them now! And Shrinky Dinks are like super easy. They have like 4 instructions, and one of them includes coloring and cutting out and punching holes. So, I mean, it has 6, but you could really just cut it down to like 4. So, yeah. So some things you'll need for your Shrinky Dinks are your special Shrinky Dink paper. I have found that like Monster High packaging works, but it bends, like it folds up really tightly. So if you had like a really big solid flat image, then it might work. It still might get a little like rolly, but you know, yeah, I guess it's something for you to play with. But I would really highly suggest using Shrinky Dink paper. So you'll need some alcohol-based markers. Sharpies would do just fine. Some tape if you want to tape your image or whatever down to it. And some scissors and a hole punch if you want to hole punch it onto things. The last thing you'll need are some images of some things that you want to trace. I just found these on Google, but you can use your own. I obviously have a specific theme that I would like to do. So I don't know how small these are going to be, so I'm going to do a test with one of these, see how much detail I can get with one, and then do a simplified image here. So let's get started. This entire project was super duper fun, and I highly suggest you get a whole bunch of different colored Sharpies. That's what I got. I tried using the Crayola markers, but the ink seemed to shrink on the Shrinky Dink plastic. So it just looked like it kind of evaporated or something. It just didn't stick to the plastic very well. Speaking of color, if you want to do color on your Shrinky Dink paper, like if you want to color in, like color block something, I highly suggest you do that first and then outline everything. I guess it's kind of just basic coloring statements, I guess, but it'll definitely help you, because when I tried to do my outlines with the little Stevens gem, the rose quartz gem, it just smudged everywhere. I think if you wait for it to kind of sit for a minute and then do it, you might be able to get it to work, but I just smeared all the black ink everywhere. And also Sharpie makes a fine liner, which makes your life so much easier. And cutting this out was really easy. I think if your child did this and you wanted to let them do it, I'm pretty sure a pair of safety scissors would work, as long as they're new or sharp. I mean, as sharp as safety scissors can get. I think there's just like that cover over it. But I'm super happy about the way these came out. These are pretty easy. I mean, if you're doing a regular like printout design, it's super easy because all you have to do is trace. Your lines may not be perfect, so I wouldn't expect perfection unless you're amazing. And just note that the colors might darken when you bake it. That's what I noticed with mine. The lightest color, blue, still was a little bit too dark for mr.meeksees, and his details didn't quite come out as I would like. However, everything was super fun, and I'm definitely going to make tons. Next step, after you trace and cut out your shapes and punch holes in them, you can bake them in a toaster. Toaster ovens are ideal for baking, but if you don't have a toaster oven, you can use a regular conventional oven. Adult supervision is required when working with sharp and/or hot objects. Preheat it to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 163 Celsius. Use baking parchment paper or tinfoil to line a baking pan. Place Shrinky Dinks color side up on lined tray and put into preheated oven. Watch as your Shrinky Dinks shrink. Bake from 1 to 3 minutes. After pieces lie flat, allow an additional 30 seconds or baking time to complete the process. then remove from the oven. Remove the paper or foil from the baking tray. If your pieces did not flatten out completely, you can lightly press the pieces flat with a folded paper or pad of paper for about 15 seconds until they are completely cooled. Alright, let's do that. But before I do, I'd like to measure these to see how small they really shrink. Basically, all I did here was give a rough measurement of the Steven Universe being 2 centimeters, Rick being 3 inches, and mr.meeksees 4 inches. 1 to 2 minutes later. And now our Shrinky Dinks are all shrunk. And starting with our rose quartz gem, or Steven's gem, got super tiny. It looks a little bit better in light, and I did rip the edge of the hole that I made, like the puncture hole or whatever you want to call it, so that I think you could still use it. My Rick Sanchez, I didn't have a skin tone unfortunately, but I guess it didn't really matter because I really liked the way he came out. I really think he came out the best. I don't feel like his pointy hair bits are really that sharp. And last but not least, mr.meeksees, look at me. He came out a little dark and a little bit streaky, so I suggest maybe doing a little bit better job than I did, and he looks a lot better in light. And now it's time to measure these bad boys. Steven Universe went from 2 centimeters to 1 centimeter, Rick Sanchez went from 3 inches to 3 centimeters, and mr.meeksees went from 4 inches to 4 centimeters. So they just kind of went down with centimeters, I guess. So there are my Shrinky Dinks. I'm super happy with at least the way these two came out. This one was more so a test to see if it would work, like how small it would work, and I broke the side of it, which it still does have the crack, but you could probably still put like a little loop in it or something. But I'm super happy with my mr.meeksees and Rick, and I am definitely going to put these on a necklace or bracelet or something. So thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun. Leave comments and all that, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you on Monday. Bye guys!